Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Happy to have you guys here. Happy to be here. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. Those of you that watch football, hope you guys had some exciting games to pay attention to, and overall just had a good time. Appreciate you guys being back here. Open discussion with everyone, asking questions, learning from each other. That's what it's all about. So I'm super happy to start these up again. And again, we're going to keep on with that pace. I did take yesterday off just in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but we'll follow it up tomorrow. So we'll have back to back. We'll keep those three like it was originally planned: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Um, so we'll keep with that. And then, of course, if we need to ramp back up like it was in the very beginning, like it was every day, then we'll do that too. Just trying to be available so we can keep having these chats. So again, appreciate you guys being here. And I want to start off again like we normally have been. If anyone in the chat has some specific questions that they want to roll out, I appreciate it. Kuhn, thank you for stopping by again. Thank you for all the gear you've given me. I got this hoodie. I got this hat. Got this really cool backpack. I love this thing. I got other things too. I just haven't trying to like situate everything so I can show it off, but might not be able to get everything here. And then I got this blanket as well. So I got all my pack swag ready to go and perfect for being able to represent here on stream. So hey MTC, how are you doing? Nice of you to drop by. I appreciate it. What I guess we could talk about just a little bit, maybe so that we don't have any dead air or not as much. We can talk about just the current objectives that we're doing in our dev room together, our discussions that we're having for improvements on the chain. Additionally, also the exciting major update that's we're all anticipating with the Yan token layer being implemented, and also the support of being able to mint NFTs onto this chain. So we're super excited about that and that update that's going to be coming soon, sooner rather than later. Just keep in mind it's a super innovative step up for us, especially us already being on such an innovative chain with LLMQs and chain locks, etc., and our Masternode network that has grown to a significant amount of collateral recognized on the network as a Masternode. We obviously have some updates that have come up in the community discussions, which is great. That way we can all work together and all be on the same page of what is to come for pack improvements, etc. And everything just gets done in a well-fashioned time frame. And then everyone's also communicating, not only just us as a team, but communicating with the community, getting input, getting our like what our solutions are that we're anticipating to implement. And it's always good for us to have those discussions. It's good for me at least, so I can get just the overall feedback, feel the room, see how things are going with the community and their response to us as a development team. I really appreciate all the support that is consistently always being showered on us, especially, kudos to the new people in our community that have come on in the past week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, really stepped up, even just interacting in the community. It's really cool to have that and just know that even if I'm not here or I'm not discussing things, it's cool to see that people are discussing things already. And so we're anticipating this update, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be really cool to see our network being supported fully. POS scores, situated to where master nodes are actually being reported accurately, as far as whether or not they're enabled or offline. One thing that I did want to clarify, because I made a comment in general chat and I guess I didn't like fully explain it, so I want to now because things can get misinterpreted on text message, not just in relationships, but just in anything. Um, just saying, like, when I mentioned that our network has grown to the point of almost reaching the community goal that I've seen, which I think the goal that I've been seeing, the number was like 22,400 master nodes. We're like 30-ish away from reaching that as far as how many master node collaterals are being registered on the network. So that's the thing that I wanted to clarify a little bit, just so that my words aren't misconstrued, or maybe I just didn't, explain it fully for everyone to understand. Our current situation on the network, which is expected with our next update, is to address not only adding the token layer, which is amazing, Yan token, etc., but also the support of NFT minting on our chain. But there's also some additional things that we have to do to enhance or optimize this network so that it's performing as it should be. As things go on, time goes on, as the network grows, we all just have to be understanding to like realize this is such an innovative technology. As things grow and expand and get tested or put to the test, ultimately you will probably have optimizations to make. I mean, a good example of that I can say is just anyone has a Windows computer. I think we're on like Windows 11 now. Um, there's tons of updates in between. So like they do those things to add features, maybe fix minor bugs that show up, etc. Whatever, just giving an example. Same is true for blockchain technology. As it grows, as it's used, as it's innovated, um, there might be changes that need to be made so that the network is as strong as it can be and as it should be. So our current one of the main updates that we are adding into this next update, I should say, one of the features in this next update is focusing on the POS band score. Without getting too crazy technical and just trying to keep this like a simple conversation so that most everyone can understand, I'll try. Um, the way quorums work in our network, it wasn't based to be in a network that has grown this fast and this big. What we based our quorums off of was Dash. Dash is an amazing network, so I'm not talking negative about them whatsoever. Dash is actually the very first crypto-based blockchain project that got me introduced into blockchain space before, minus Bitcoin. But why I'm mentioning this is their network has not surpassed 5,000 masternodes, and that's for their own reasons. They have a different supply. The cost, it's different. Like I'm not saying one's better than the other. That's not what we're getting at. But I'm just mentioning that how their network works for the size of their network. You look at our network size compared to theirs as far as how many different master nodes are attached, not talking resources provided, not talking any of that stuff or transactions or comparing anything, just talking just the pure number of master nodes. How the quorums work for them works because of their total. Since ours has grown so much, which there's theoretically could as well as time goes on, like things change, etc. Ours has grown so much to almost be 22,400 registered masternodes on our network. The quorums need to be optimized so that it's performing as it should be. It affects the POS band score a bit to where servers that were maybe offline or haven't been responding, they're not being properly penalized, meaning kicked out of the reward queue when they should be. But that hasn't impacted the features of this network of Pack Protocol, as far as instant sends, as far as me being able to send Pack to someone and they're able to also send it before they even get 6 confirmations, being able to create a proper master node. All the bells and whistles that Pack Protocol currently offers are still operational as full peak. So these optimizations that we want to push into the network is just so that those that are, making the decision, first of all, to collateralize 500,000 Pack, like you have to have that collateral to do it. The people that are doing that, they should not have to wonder whether or not if the network is properly connecting them or if they are properly connected because of a improper POS band score or report. Meaning, if your node was offline, yet it was saying that you were online, how would you know to do the maintenance? So we're not trying to, pinpoint or put a spotlight and saying anyone specifically doing something wrong on the network or that people aren't hosting their masternodes properly. That's not what we're saying. So I apologize if that has come across that way. Just saying that people don't know what they're doing with it. Like that's not what we mean. What we mean is how the system works at this point needs to be optimized so that those quorums are responding. The POS band score is fitting to the size of our network now. And so that you are getting proper reporting if your node needs maintenance, which obviously everyone would want to know that because someone choosing to collateralize 500K Pack to support this network, I'm sure they're wanting to do it in the right way, not have to wonder whether or not something's going wrong. So really cool to see the network has grown to that size of how many collateralized masternodes are being registered on the network. That's awesome to see. And pending our future update that's coming sooner rather than later, we'll be able to have a more proper scoring system to fit our size of our network. And as it keeps growing, we could maybe expect that further optimizations are needed. That's something that we just got to keep in mind. we don't have the answer to something that may happen 5 years from now. Meaning the scale of pack could be so much different 5 years from now, 5 months from now, 1 year from now. We don't have the answers for the future. So, we just want to be on that level playing field. We understand that optimizations need to be made and need to be made. And we're going to try and communicate with you guys as we do them, more so than we have in the past, just so that we can show that we are listening, like we are aware of different things that happen on the network. Like obviously we do have a, interest in Pack Protocol. We pay attention to it daily. All our products are built to be interactive with Pack Protocol. So if there's anything that we can do to optimize the network, we're going to. So after my little opening, I see a couple of questions popping in. One from Zishan. I apologize if I didn't pronounce that correctly. Are there any plans to have features to back up media on phones automatically on YanDNA as Google Photos does? So that does sound like a very plausible feature, just something that's automated so that the pictures that are on your camera roll are automatically backed up, similar to how PCs use Google Drive if you're using that service. You know how a lot of things are just automatically sent over there, et cetera, so your computer saves space. That definitely does sound like a really cool feature. YanDNA, I do have it as like how you can make a home screen app from like a link, from a website, et cetera. So I can access YanDNA on my phone. And I've done it to where I have pictures on my phone and I just click the little options like where do I want to upload it, et cetera, and then it goes straight there. But as far as it being automatically, like like a feature that Dropbox has, that sounds really cool and pretty plausible. I'm pretty sure that we could work to add that. That way, that can be done, because that sounds basically the same thing as all the different things that we're trying to accomplish. And why not? Sounds like a good idea. Any updates on exchanges? Yeah, we talked about exchanges. I mean, I won't go crazy into it. I'm the one responsible for, putting the applications in, for obviously providing, our team. I represent our team in these applications, so I have to make sure that we can provide the budget that's required for listing. It's different per exchange, different per project even. So I can't obviously say a total versus what other projects are given a total, because that's also just like it's covered in our NDA. We can't talk about budget like requests once we get to that point. Um, but other requirements that I just physically cannot control, or I choose not to attempt to control, is the requirements of volume. A lot of these top 10 exchanges expect certain amounts of volume. Some I just list different numbers, but don't hold me to it because it changes. Like they have their own parameters. So, but in the past, I've heard 1 million of volume a day, et cetera, or some were 5 million, et cetera. Like that's talking about volume on exchanges. We personally cannot control that. Meaning like I don't want to. There are like services that people do considered market making, where it just produces fake volume and then your volume's higher than what it really is, like actual usage. Like if you look at the actual transactions happening on chain versus just the transactions that are repetitively happening on the exchange controlled wallets, where they're just trading with each other and like it's not really sending to anyone else except themselves. That to me is a true metric, not fake manufactured volume. So, but to each their own. These are different platforms, and not a lot of projects don't have to, manipulate their volume. And a lot of projects have legitimate, steady volume day in and day out because of their usability and utility, et cetera. So that's something that we push for Pack Protocol, bringing new utility, bringing new usage, so that in the event that these products are widespread enough and usage is, going up and new people coming in, and the different ways that we can market and brand Pack Protocol and bring more usage into the network, you could assume that possibly your exchange volume to acquire Pack is also going up. But that's something that we can't say for sure. It's not obviously what we're here to push. We're here to push utility for Pack. So one thing to another, those are the requirements that are expected to be listed on those exchanges. And so required budget, that's something that we could fill in and provide for everyone using Pack Protocol. We could step up and do that. We have that available. But the thing that we do not control, and I refuse to even attempt to control, is market volume and utility. So usage, I should say. So that's just on anyone. That's just on the network itself, how it's being used, people acquiring it. We're not going to control that. but obviously we can push more people to Pack Protocol with the different products that we can build and the different directions that we can push this network into with consensus from you guys and the masternode owners. Yeah, what the next question regarding exchanges, do you feel optimistic in exchanges? Yeah, I feel extremely optimistic because not just on the products of what we're pushing right now, but on our private uh, private business dealings. As a private LLC, we're making maneuvers to like be able to provide what we want to provide for you guys as a community and also for this network, which, like I just mentioned, requires budget to be on these large exchanges. So those are things that we are willing to step up to the plate and do. We are already there at that point. But the other requirements just have to be met, and that's stuff that doesn't just fully rely on us. It relies on us to, as one company that is building on top of Pack Protocol. It is obviously a big step forward based off of whether or not our products are amazing or not, or used or not, or if people like them. So that's why we go after what we go after, making products easy to use so that everyone can use them, brand awareness, um, targeting specific audiences for usage of decentralized data. So and distributed data using IPFS. So it's obviously if you look at it that grander picture, those are why we're in those different fields and why we're pushing different utilities into Pack Protocol, so that eventually the usage on the network grows and potentially the volume that's recorded on markets grow. And then those requirements are met for listings on these higher exchanges, and we could step in and provide the budget for PAC to be listed if we decide to. No, we haven't. Matt, your question: have we discussed the possibility of listing Yen on exchanges? PAC is already on. In theory, would be less work on their side to add the new token. Yeah, yes, because they obviously would have to update PAC's network, like what's on there right now for them to even accept PAC on their exchange with the new token layer being implemented. And I haven't even introduced the conversations about our token layer and the addition of Yan token, just because I just the full plate. I just haven't discussed it yet with them. But we do have good relationships with the exchanges that we are listed on. So when we get to that point, our development team will be able to walk them through the process of listing Yan, which is a token that is now operable on the Pack Protocol network. In theory, I would assume like if they already have updated to Pack and which includes the token layer at that point, I would assume it'd be a lot less work. I don't think that they would require anything from us, maybe a small fee, but that's they're a business. So that's one thing people have to understand. It's like exchanges are businesses, so we have to play by their rules and we have to play by how they want to operate. But that's being said, again, we have good relationships with the exchanges that we're listed on. So it is a goal of ours and not a goal that's going to, not really a goal, it's going to happen. Like we'll get Yan token on exchanges that PAC is already on as well. I just don't have a time frame of exactly when, because we got to get the token layer out first for you guys, get it operable. And another good thing is that exchanges are not going to be the only way that you can interact with a token. It's kind of backwards if you think about it, backwards versus how things are done in other projects, or some other projects, I should say. Like with Yan token being released, it could be possible that it's not on an exchange yet, could be possible that it is. But in the event that it's not, you already have a utility to use it. You can deposit it into Yan DNA for data storage reservations. So it's kind of cool how you are like already have a utility and you don't even have to worry about the exchange aspect, because within Yan DNA, that Yan token is valuable for your data. It's not even a monetary transaction. So you have two different ways to view your data. Use Yan token, which eventually obviously will have its own value based off of market prices or market action, et cetera. Not my job, not my responsibility to know exactly what that is. No one's decentralized market, but you have a different way of valuing that if you're putting it towards your data. Have you discussed the possibility of listing? Oh, I already read that one. When will you be able to delegate masternodes to Dogecoin? What quarter if possible, please? So us as a development company, Pack Global Holdings LLC, we do have an operational Dogecoin full node. additionally being provided on the same server that a pack protocol master node is being hosted on, just to show the like just what we were doing with them and attempting to do. We had a pretty good email thread between their leadership, or not leadership, but developers that work on Doge. They're I'm not going to give specific names. Anyways, had a pretty good email thread, and we were discussing about what we've discussed before of how Pack Protocols Network has grown this far because people choose to do so. People are choosing to do it. You can't do it by accident. You have to send 500K transaction, et cetera, set up a node, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Someone's choosing to do it. We're just trying to explain to people that if we make this easy for people to do for you, meaning what product do we have out right now that is very, like, I still have yet to see one be anywhere near compared to what Yan Safe can do. But we have a product there, right there, super clean, super easy UI. We can build this out for you guys as well and just offer it not only to our community, but now people can download our wallets. You see, people can download Yan Safe, and they would be able to in this event. Now we're just talking in theory now. Okay, so we're just saying if we do this and we make it easy for people to deploy a Dogecoin full node via Yan Safe, it's now also a wallet for Doge, for whatever project that we incline to add into a product that we make. So you have to understand when you have a pathway to make business to business conversations and show them what you can do. It's not always pushing pack down someone's throat. It's not always pushing Doge or a specific project, a specific wallet, specific network. We want to show that we can build what we can build for literally anything, for anyone. And pack can be part of it, but it's not always necessarily going to be right away. Like these are the conversations that we have so that we can give our ideas to people, actually show people what we can do. Like we can only do that so far ourselves, on our own platforms, our own socials, our own marketing, etc. But how cool would it be to like be in the room with someone that you weren't expecting to be in the room with, and then finally be able to show them what you as a development company can do, what you have done here, and then you can also bring them into that, and you might get vice versa support. So those are why we've tried so hard and been successful having those conversations with different crypto projects, their leaders, their developers, and then just showing what we can do. So as far as Dogecoin being supported upon masternodes, what that would really mean is a user or an owner of a masternode chooses to also support a Dogecoin node on their server, and they would theoretically be able to do so through Yan Safe, easy peasy, with minimum steps required, other than you obviously providing the resources that are needed. Everything is always going to come down to the resources that you yourself are providing. You can't obviously provide more than what you're actually doing. So again, theoretically, those are the steps. One of the chains that has been anticipated and talked about and planned to be added to not just one, but a couple of our products as far as usability. But all that information will be released once we get to that point, and if that does in fact happen, because we have to get there. On YanDNA, we can share individual files, but is it possible to share entire folders? That's a good question. Let me find out. I'm gonna do it right now. I have I haven't even I don't think so, but I do remember that being discussed already and brought up. And I believe if not already pushed, it's one of to be included. But I'm have a feeling that yeah, I have a feeling it was added. So let me check. No, no, not yet. But that is something that we want to do, to where you can send the entire file. But yeah, not yet. Good call out though, because we have talked about that recently, and I remember us anticipating it being available. But either way, one of the features that is has been requested. Like we've already heard about it. That's why I knew that we were already thinking about it, but it's not in there yet, but it will be. New CEO. So technically, what we're doing, like before, before any other leaders were added into our leadership here, I did formally go, have that CEO role, and I not removed, but I changed my role to chairman so that someone else could fill that slot better suited for it at that time. What we're doing now, as I've mentioned in past streams, our leadership has expanded a lot. Certain individuals have not been properly, not properly, but just not proper time for them to be announced into here yet, just because of certain like their own things that they got going on. Different, really cool, different people in different industries that we brought in here, and very beneficial for PAC. But that information will come in its own time. But in the meantime, just knowing that, me telling you guys that, like what we're doing inside our own private company, our LLC, we're moving as a collective, board forward until we have someone that wants to fill in that role specifically, because right now it's hard for any of us, including myself, to fill that role like specifically, because we're tied into so many different things at this current moment, so many different directions, so many different things on the private side of the business that we're doing in the development side that unrelated to pack. So, and it's just well, not unrelated, it is related, but not publicly, as what I guess I should say. But anyways, collect as a collective board, we're moving forward, and then until things can quiet down as far as where we're headed, and when these updates kind of get pushed out, there's a lot of things that just are put on hold until this update is pushed out, put on hold to announce. And so once we finally get that out, we'll start organizing our statements, our posts, whatever you want to call them, our socials, and we'll be able to inform you guys on that. There are certain people that I want to fill in that role, and if that person does eventually fill in that role, it will be super exciting for me. But until then, mum's the word. We're moving together as a collective board, and nothing's obviously slowing us down. If anything, just pushing ahead, full steam ahead. Are you a bull or a bear? Um, I don't go by year. I just go by the general overall sentiment of the market. Going back from you can only go back to where it started and where we are now. And all I've seen from where we started to where we are now, and just speaking completely in general crypto, it's been nothing but a constant uptrend. You know, I'm just talking from beginning to now. If anyone was in the beginning, and you look at it now, you're obviously up. There's doesn't matter what happens in between. So generally speaking, I'm always a bull. It's always just going to be something that I think will grow. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize that, especially the different people that are representing cryptocurrency, blockchain projects. I just saw an FTX commercial with Tom Brady. I saw crypto.com commercial with Matt Damon. I've seen crypto.com arena now. Like it's not a little thing anymore, and it's not something that people haven't heard about. So I don't see it really going away, if anything, becoming more steady, but who knows? And the same answer would go for stocks. The same answer would go for anything. Like no one can tell you anything unless I guess it's their job, but then that's their job and their responsibility. Hmm. I do have a really cool idea on that though, and I've already talked to a designer about it. I want to do something like that, kind of like geared the metaverse kind of thing, like a altered reality kind of, not altered reality, what's it called? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. But anyways, like a maybe like an e-arena. That'd be kind of cool. Um, so the only thing I'll go into on the Zap thing, our initial partnership with them is obviously not, it's not changing, but it's just being able to expand in different ways if it were to be pursued. Because of our support for NFTs, they also have an NFT marketplace. So, not saying anything is definitive there, hasn't even been discussed, but just mentioning that we have so many different things being added to our network now that we can have conversations about. Our original conversation with them was directly tied to their Oracle network, and what that was going to be for, not going to be for, still can. A lot of these are exploratory partnerships, meaning don't expect something to happen here and now. Expect it to be announced when it's ready to be announced, because that's, if we're working in a privately between two teams, the responses aren't going to be demanded from us to them or them to us. Like, we're completely different companies. So when those exploratory time periods are over of like, hey, this is how we want to maybe expand your Oracle network or make it easier for your users to do so. In a similar way, I was just talking about Dogecoin. That's obviously a way that they can grow they have a type of network that would need to grow, for them to perform like over time. And I'm not saying they ain't now. I'm just overall. So, and those partnerships and those discussions, those development teams, organizations that we're able to have those conversations with that we didn't have before. Um, that's just super valuable. These projects that are valuable because they have valuable minds behind them. And if we're able to talk to these individuals, get advice, or vice versa, or get different ideas, share ideas, there's so many different potential outcomes that can come from that. And that alone should just be like, that's a cool thing to put in a sentence, that Pact Protocol and this other organization have had their conversations, have shared ideas, have agreed to have a partnership announced on both sides. And that's a good reason, because we obviously collaborate well together in our jam sessions. That partnership was dropped. It wasn't dropped on our side, so I don't have information on that. I wasn't contacted either. And so that's as far as I'll go on that. Augmented reality. That's, yes, that's what I meant. Not altered reality. Augmented reality. So like, um, best way to explain that: have your phone right, and then like on your screen, you'd have like whatever you're looking at, and you could interact with it. Virtual reality, that's like one of my really big main goals, to get something like that done. And we have the people involved to potentially be able to do it in the future. But something to where you have like I just thought it'd be so cool if you could have this situation where people could have concerts, and like have their own arena designed specifically for them. Kind of like how video games have started to do, like in events and stuff. But where you could physically, like, not physically, but you could buy a ticket for this event, but it's a specific seat, like a specific seat, specific viewing, whatever, in that arena, if that makes sense. And then the performance most likely would be a recorded performance, but you ain't gonna see it unless you're there, because like you could close it off, like you close off a regular concert. So that's what I think would be really cool, having like an arena type of thing, or just a dedicated, um, kind of concert venue for specific artists, and then you could have your own way of purchasing tickets via NFTs or whatever to be part of that event. There's so many cool things that can be done with the technology now, and that's why I mentioned, like, start at the beginning and look where we're at now. Blockchain, Bitcoin, at its adolescence, there was no thoughts of all the different things that maybe there was, but not a lot of us ever even thought about all the potentials of blockchain now, and metaverse, and how cryptocurrency can be used in microtransactions or NFTs to verify ownership of content or physical items, or even outlaying smart contracts for uh, your um, your agents and make escrow deals. Like, you can use blockchain for everything now. That's why I fully believe it ain't going anywhere except into a positive direction. speaking usability, that is. No problem, tipster. Yan DNA was decided on because one of our lead developers here, true hero to a lot of us, great guy. His name's Yan. So I, I asked him in a conversation, hey, do you care if I want to name Yan DNA after you? And in Yan token, obviously, same deal. And he said, absolutely, let's do it. Sounds good. And so that was the reason for it, because DNA, decentralized node assembly, that's the part of DNA. Um, we were, deciding on names is like, do you want to do packed DNA, like decentralized node assembly? And it's like, not everything has to be packed. Either, we can have models or not models, but series of products that get released and maybe have different monikers and different names. Like sometimes updates or name specific things like, I don't know, Dragon, or I don't know. Just that was our reason, because Yan is a developer on our team, and we wanted to name the product after him and the token to come for it. Yes, Christian, you're correct. You said, I remember you told us that Masternode owners will be the first people who will receive Yan because it can't be bought on exchanges. Am I right? There's no, and what value? We're not here to discuss values, because first off, Yan hasn't been released yet, and second, that's not what I'm here to do, to discuss values. But with the token layer being implemented on Pack Protocol on launch, when consensus is reached, how the first token that is being created on Pack Protocol, and I say first because eventually anyone will be able to create their own token, own supply. You just have to have a small amount of Pack collateral to do it. But anyways, before we get there, that's later. That'd be a great update later. And with Yan token, this is the first token being created, and then it's being implemented into the network to be paid out to Masternode owners when they receive a pack reward. So it'll be a fixed rate that it's sent out to the different owners at that rate. And then how you use or value Yan will be up to you. Obviously, Yan DNA is going to be one of the primary ways that you can use it. Receive your Yan from your Masternode, from because of your Masternode, deposit it into Yan DNA if you choose to, and accumulate the amount of data storage that it allocates. Yeah, I don't know why my nose is so itchy, but it is driving me nuts. Your question, so only Masternode owners will have access to more gigabyte storage instead of the. So not only Masternode owners, because I mean that's obviously a big part of, like, if Yan's available on an exchange, if you get Yan as a reward and you want to redeem it for something else on the exchange, by all means go for it. And then if you need to accumulate Yan the same method, by all means go for it. But there is going to be other methods that we implement into Yan DNA, different features. The ability for you to mint an NFT on Pack Protocol now, and you could store it on Yan DNA. That will have its own cause for demand, to have the token to be able to, back up your NFT if you choose to on a decentralized or distributed network setting. And then also, there's other methods that will be implemented, that we're exploring to implement, I should say, but already been talked about, to where you would be able to share files and stuff and do things like that via the application, or charge someone a specific fee to read a specific document or article, or to send them a specific file, to share files, whatever. You can set your own, I guess, price, and then people could use Yan for that. So those of Masternode owners, those that have a master and they get Yan first, someone could be on Yan DNA, doesn't have a Masternode, and this is just talking obviously theoretical because this is not live right now, but these are the ideas that are in our heads, so expect them to come. That someone could be on Yan DNA, They don't have Yan yet, but they obviously, maybe they were an early adopter. Maybe they got the 5 free gigabytes of storage, so that's why they can use it. And they could maybe try to distribute art or an NFT that they minted and try to distribute it for a certain Yan token price, and then they could accumulate Yan that way. But yeah, exchanges will be probably the most realistic way for most people to get Yan if they don't have a masternode, because that's the method that it's being distributed. Those that are providing a resource to the Pack protocol network in any given way will be the ones that are receiving Yan token. Yeah, correct, Matt. You're right on that. It's not out of the question that Yan will be listed on exchanges, just that the primary method of acquisition will be from operating a masternode, which is correct. I mean, think of any chain that starts at block 1 or block 0, the Genesis block. There's no supply. You can't go onto an exchange and buy something that doesn't exist yet because no supply has happened. Um, if if it's a chain that needs to be mined, obviously the miners are going to be the people that are getting the coins. Then it's their choice to distribute them onto exchanges if they wish to. Same goes for proof of stake coin. If it's not listed on exchange yet, well, the odds are if it's Genesis block and there was no, pre-mint or pre-acquisition, there's no supply to be listed on the exchange. So the only way that you'd be getting it is if you're contributing resources to that network and the network is coded to reward you, whether it's proof of work or proof of stake. Okay. Um, we're approaching, yeah, we're at 42 minutes. Just wanted to know if we have anyone else that has any questions that we wanted to talk about. Anything specific? Yeah, Dragon is probably already at ERC20 coin or token. Probably. Probably on the Binance Smart Chain as well. Okay. It seems like we've kind of dried it up here. We had a pretty good discussion, 43 minutes. So tomorrow we are going to do the exact same thing, same time, 3 o'clock Eastern time, 2 o'clock Central, and I believe 1 o'clock Pacific. I'm not sure, but we'll be here tomorrow because we delayed Monday to Tuesday. So any estimates on Uniswap, pack all that the bridge, all that stuff that's going to be done. It's going to be released after the update for the token layer is released because it doesn't make sense to do one before the other when you're going to have an update to the entire network anyways. You should get tested. Tested for what? Are you talking COVID tested? I'm not sick. My nose is itchy today. Like not even runny. It's just like literally on the tip of my nose. Like I'm itching down here so it doesn't look weird. It's literally right here and it's just like super itchy. I don't understand. I think it looked weird if I just did that all. Anyways, all right, guys. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Again, we'll be here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And yeah, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And I appreciate you. Oh, also, stop by our Discord if you haven't. I was told to mention that. If we're not here or something is canceled or whatever, one of the most interactive community places is the Discord. So jump in there if you haven't. If you want to talk about anything, you'll find us in there, and you'll definitely find Matt in there. I see him quite a bit in there, and some other names that have scrolled past because the chat keeps scrolling. We had a lot of comments today, which is awesome. So, peace out, guys. Have a great day.